Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Lab on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're going to learn about the strings in C++. Now if you know that a string is nothing but the collection of characters which are terminated with a null character. In C we were using the header file called string.h in our program, and we were declaring the character arrays to store the strings. So in C++ we have a header file called string, and to include that you guys need to write #include and string. That's it. And if you guys want to use the string.h header file from your C, then you guys need to include the header file C string. This C string is a new type of header in C++ which contains all the features available in the string.header file from C. Alright, in this tutorial we're not going to use that, so I'm going to delete that. Alright, a string is a array of characters or a sequence of characters which are terminated with a null character. In C++ we have the string header file which allows us to use the strings more easily. And if you want to create a variable in your program to store a string value, then you guys need to write string and then the variable name, similar to declaring any other variables. For example, let's say a name, and then I'm going to initialize that. To initialize we're going to use the assignment operator, but if you guys have any programming experience in C, then we can't do this in C. We need to use a function called strcpy, and then we need to specify the values and the location where we want to save, etc, etc. But in C++ we have a more simpler way to initialize the strings. So we're gonna use the assignment operator and then the name, let's say Anil. And also in C++ we can perform the operations on strings very easily. For example, if you want to concatenate two strings, then we don't need to use any functions like strcat, like in C. We can use the addition operator and we can concatenate the string. And also if you want to compare two strings, then we can use the equal to operator. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So the next thing that we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to create another variable. Let me call it as string last name, and it's going to be Shetty because I'm Shetty. Okay. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to print out the values. So it's going to be cout, and it's going to be name, and let's add a space in between, and then last name. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to save this. I'm going to build and run. You guys can see Anil Shetty. So it's very easy to declare the variable to store the strings and also assign a string to a string variable. And the next thing that I want to teach you is about concatenating the strings. Let's say we have another variable called string full name, and if you wanted to concatenate this name and last name or Anil Shetty, then you guys can do that. So I'm gonna save the concatenated string in this full name. So it's gonna be full name equal to name, which is going to contain Anil, and we're going to use this plus as a concatenate operator. And if you want to add any space, we can do that. So I'm going to use the space there, and again plus last name. So this full name variable is going to contain Anil space Shetty, Anil Shetty. And just to demonstrate that, I'm going to add a new line here, and I'm going to print full name. And also domains is stream insertion operator. I'm gonna build and run this. Okay, we have an error. Okay, I spelled this wrong. It's gonna be full name. So I'm gonna build and run. So you guys can see Anil Shetty, Anil Shetty. And the next thing is about comparing two strings. So here we can use the equal to operator. To demonstrate that, I'm gonna use if. It's gonna be name equal to double equal to, just remember that, and we're gonna compare name equal to Anil, and we're gonna say name Matt, else we're gonna say name mismatch. and we're gonna delete this, and I'm gonna save this now. I'm gonna build and run this. So now you guys can see name match, and if I change this one to, let's say, Anjali, and I'm gonna build and run this, it says name mismatch. So C++ offers a more easy way to work with the strings. So to use strings in your program, we need to include the string header files to our program, and to perform the basic operations such as concatenating two strings, we're going to use the plus operator, and to check the equality of two strings, we're going to use the equal to operator. So this is it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.